The telephoto lens for capturing landscapes. It's not the most common lens that people think of when they think of landscape photography, but to me, this is one of my favorite lenses to use. So in this video, I want to share with you some tips for using a telephoto lens for capturing landscape scenes. We're going to shoot a few example frames and I'll talk about a few different things you can keep in mind to make your images stand out. So we just come down the lake this morning, got some beautiful morning light. Using a telephoto lens is all about capturing something that's far away from you. What I'm looking at this morning are the beautiful mountains off in the distance. And the telephoto lens, it's about eliminating distractions. So you might be able to spot something beautiful in the distance. This is giving us the ability then to isolate that subject and pull it up nice and close. One of my key tips with using a lens like this though, is to still try, if possible, to incorporate layers of detail progressively getting close to the viewer. That's how you really create an image that has some depth in it. So what I'm getting at is, instead of potentially just shooting a mountain by itself, why don't we try to get the mountain with some trees below it, or the valley, or the lake, building up those layers instead of just having a flat image. Now, there's nothing wrong with just getting the subject by itself, but if we can get those layers, we're going to create a lot more depth in the frame. Another big consideration with the tele lens is the angle of light. I generally find that side light or even backlight is one of the better ways to use this lens. If you're shooting a subject that's being front lit, it will look a lot flatter than getting those variations in the light. So we'll come down the front here. What I'm looking at now, we've got the beautiful snowy mountains off in the distance. You need to really zone in with your eye and just really find, well, what is it in that scene that I think is the best part? And then this lens is going to allow us to bring it right to the forefront of the viewer. Try not to get tunnel vision. You really need to assess and go, well, hang on, are there distractions here? Is the viewer going to really enjoy what it is that I'm trying to show them? So I'll give you an example now. I'm just looking across at the mountains on the lake and I love the way the light is striking the snow. Now when I frame up at 100 mil, I'm able to get the water of the lake, some islands below, and then the light on the top, which it's nice. But one thing that I'm noticing is the huge void in the center of the frame. There's just a big area where there's not much going on. So this is where, again, we need to eliminate distractions. So if this image is meant to be about the mountains, well, in this case, I'd zoom into 400 and bang, now we've got an image that showcases the beauty of the mountains. And we have a little bit of depth there with those ridge lines and shadows below. So this is a perfect example of, even though we're looking at something nice, there's also a lot in the frame that really isn't doing much. So it's important to eliminate that. As I run along the rest of the mountains, I can see another area where there's not as much negative space in this one because there's some contours and different areas that are quite interesting. But again, I think this one as well, instead of being here at 100, it's going to have a lot more impact if we zoom in tighter. And now we're still getting the layers, but we've got a very big dominant subject matter right there, that beautiful face on the mountain. So it's going in, looking at the grander landscape, finding that pocket which is interesting. It's like saying, what's the face in the crowd? We've got a crowd here, but what is the face that I'm trying to tell people to look at? And then making sure that I'm really bringing that to the forefront of the frame. So this lens for me, it's all about the right light, the right atmosphere, and trying to combine layering as well for depth. Some of my favorite images are doing just that, trying to incorporate various layers. You'll see I often avoid negative spaces. I'm really just trying to fill the frame with all of the good stuff. You can see that I love to use it capturing mountains, capturing the ocean as well. So this lens, it's not all about the big grand mountain vistas. It's also good for more intimate scenes. So on the edge of the lake here, I've noticed that we have some nice crashing waves and gentle light hitting the water. So why don't we go up close and see what we can do just by pointing down at the ground. Nice water crashing on the shoreline. I'm thinking if we go for a semi-slow shutter, maybe 1/10, 1/8 of a second, and I'm going to do a bit of an intentional camera movement here and pan along and try to create a nice, beautiful, semi-abstract image of the water. And like I said earlier, eliminating distractions. I'm going to make sure that when I punch in here with the lens, I'm really getting in tight on the water itself and not showing any negative space around the frame. Close the f-stop down so I'm able to get a slow shutter, and I'm just timing these frames just as the water curls over and breaks. There we go, and it's like little strands of hair as the water just curls over. There's some lovely backlight, and I'm panning along and just shooting as the wave curls on. Bang. So we captured the water. There's also a nice scene here where the light is hitting these wet rocks. And I found a frame where we can time our shutter, our exposure, as the water just rushes over, doing a bit of a slow shutter speed as well. And just showcasing the nice contrast of the rocks with the soft water. It looks phenomenal with that gentle light coming in. And again, just really punching in. So this lens just gives us the ability to find the scene within the scene. When you're out here in nature, there's just so much going on, so much beauty. It really pays to just slow down, analyze what it is that really speaks to you and what jumps out to you. And then this lens is our tool to just isolate that subject. And you can tell any story you like using this lens. People don't have to know what else is going on out there. You can just zone in on that one little subject that's caught your eye. All right, that's the tips for the telephoto lens. I'm using the 100 to 400 mil. The more common focal length is probably the 70 to 200, but I've got to say, once you start shooting 200 and beyond, 400 mil, you won't want to go back to a 200. So if you can get a 100 to 400, I highly recommend it. Slightly heavier lens, but what you gain with the reach, I think is totally worth it. So something to keep in mind, or you could look at getting a 70 to 200 and then using a converter. I also have a converter for this, a 2x converter, and I have the odd image in my portfolio, which is around 6, 7, 800 mil. So telephoto lens, although you might not be using it all the time, it's incredibly handy to have and just gives you so many more possibilities when it comes to landscape photography. Thank you for your support, and hopefully I'll see you in a new video soon.